the objective was we need a video every week, and we got to be consistent on YouTube. And the theme is Madeira. And there's a lot of things. Like in the first year, one of the worries that Jeff had was, okay, yeah, we got to do videos about Madeira, but at some point, we're going to run out of
things
topics.
to talk about. Yeah.
And it's been 5 years, so this is the 5th year, right? And there's so much more.
We're sitting in front of machines. We're doing things. We are the extension of the machine, almost.
Yep.
60% of my channel is directed towards potential clients. And those potential clients are tourists that come to Madeira.
Thank you for being here. I have Jeff and André. This was kind of like we didn't really plan for this one. This kind of like just happened. And I like that. I like it when it happens. Because, I feel like the universe sometimes aligns things. And you guys just came to Toronto now. And you know what? How about you tell my audience who you guys are? Just like a little bit of the story behind why you guys are here, so that they have an idea of where this conversation can go.
Sure. So I'll kick off. My name's Jeff. I run a tour company in Madeira. I was a Portuguese immigrant living in South Africa. So a lot of Madeirans went from Madeira to South Africa. Just like here in North America, Canada, we've got a lot of Azorians and a lot of mainland Portuguese. A lot of the Madeirans went down to South Africa. So I was born and raised in Johannesburg, grew up as a Madeiran, very patriotic Madeiran, right?
Okay.
We also had this kind of sense of immigrant community where...
I was just going to say, like, is it a tight community there? Or was it a tight community there?
It was, at least at that time. I haven't been back for a while.
Okay.
But at the time, yes, we used to celebrate all the festas.
Yeah.
Just like we do in Portugal, in Madeira. We used to have the Portuguese church there in Johannesburg, the Portuguese church in Brentwood Park. Everyone who is from that area knows that that's the Portuguese church. And we used to go there, the Sundays of the summer for the different festivals. And, it was basically a way to get the community together and for us to enjoy ourselves. So I moved back to Madeira in 2009. I moved back to Madeira, half for two different kind of reasons. The first one was that I really needed something new in my life. I needed a bit of a new leaf, a fresh start, something different.
But you had been to Madeira a few times probably, right?
I had been to Madeira.
Okay.
I had Portuguese citizenship because my grandparents were born there, and my parents would go there often enough. Particularly in my younger years.
Were your parents already born in South Africa?
They were already born in South Africa.
Oh, okay. So you're like a second generation.
Second generation.
Okay, interesting.
Yeah, so long story short, I came back to Madeira. I became a tour guide. It was one of the first jobs I got. The first ones were behind the bars in the restaurants because those were the quickest, easiest jobs to get. And then eventually I found myself behind the wheel of a Land Rover. And doing Jeep tours around the island. And after a while, eventually it was actually a cousin of mine who gave me the courage, who said, why don't you start your own business? So I started my own Jeep tour business, and 15, 16 years later, so that was in 2012. So 14 years later, next year will be 15 years. Here we are, and we've got a YouTube channel. I now have a different business with André that we'll talk about.
We're gonna dive into that, for sure.
The photo and video business, but my tourism business is this. I create content on YouTube based on Madeira, based on Portugal and Portuguese culture.
But this is fascinating. You're like a second generation already outside of Madeira Island. What was it that told you needed to go back? And did you go to Madeira and you fell in love with it, with the people, with the culture? Like, let me into that. What happened?
Well, not at first, to be honest.
Okay.
At first, it was all a bit scary and a little bit crazy.
And we're talking about what year?
2009.
9.
End of 2009. So it was November 29th.
So 2009. Okay.
So from 2010 onwards, basically. But I grew up as being this very patriotic person because we'd go to the feasts. You know, we live close to each other. You know, we live in South Africa. We have what we call complexes, right? Which is basically like groups of houses closed off by one big wall.
Oh, really?
And
Okay.
security and stuff because it's Africa, right?
Yeah.
So, you know, these complexes, a lot of people lived. And in our complex, there was, you know, like half of our complex was like Portuguese, right? So I had a Portuguese neighbor on my right, I had a Portuguese neighbor in front of me. There was a Portuguese guy behind us. And there was a couple of others like all over the place.
And mostly from Madeira?
Mostly from Madeira.
Really? Okay.
90% of the Portuguese people in South Africa are from Madeira.
Yeah.
Interesting. Okay.
I went there in the 60s, right?
60, yeah. It was similar to Canada, you know.
Right.
It was between the 40s and the 70s. Unfortunately, I don't have an exact date of when my grandparents went.
Yeah.
But from the research, I did some research on this topic, and it was between the 40s and the 70s.
Wow.
So I was kind of, you know, already, like I said, like you were kind of indoctrinated to be Portuguese, whether you wanted to or not, right? Your parents were like, you know, you're Portuguese. If you don't bring a Portuguese girl home, you're in trouble.
That's one of the things, yeah.
You know, I had to go to Portuguese Catholic school. I had to go to, you know, all of these.
It's interesting about our culture is that, you know, we leave the country, but the country comes with us. You know, it's like we don't want to let it go. It's let's bring all the traditions. Let's make everybody understand that we're Portuguese and this is what we love to do. This is what we love to cook and eat and dance and all of that kind of stuff. It's so interesting to see that, you know, from other places in the world, it's the same situation. You know, you talk to people in Venezuela, in the States, here, Australia, and everybody kind of says the same thing and has this same, you know, reaction to, I was raised there, but you know, still, you know, Viva Portugal and, you know, Viva Ronaldo.
Yeah. I think Ronaldo had a big thing to do. But yeah, you know, and I don't know if it was just me that I just like loved this like Portuguese thing of ours, how Devon likes to put it. You know, and it just, so when I went back to Madeira, part of it was, the one part was like, I had no idea I needed something new and different. So I wanted to travel. And then the second part was like, well, I want to find out more. What is this Madeiran thing? Because, you know, we grew up like, you're Madeiran. You know, we eat espetada, we go to church. We, you know, like that was the whole thing. We were Madeiran.
But now you wanted to live it.
So I wanted to know what more, you know, what is it exactly being Madeiran? So, you know, that landed, you know, I went to Madeira by myself. I was quite lucky that I had a place that I could stay. You know, so I had some support. But very little.
Because you still have family there, right?
Yes, but very little. Most being second generation already.
Okay.
A lot of my cousins, my aunts and uncles, they had already all left, or been born already in South Africa as well.
Gotcha.
And no one was really interested in going to Madeira because it was like seen as a place for old people.
Yeah.
It was like, oh no, you go there for vacation.
Not anymore, I bet.
No, it's very different now.
Even back then, I don't think it was true, you know?
Yeah, of course. But that was a little bit of the sentiment, right? So Madeira was the retirement island for the old British people and German people as well. But nowadays, it's very different. And you know, of course, because you have
So now let's go into this relationship here so I can go dig into who André is. So how did this happen, this relationship here?
So this happened during COVID. We have a mutual friend. When I was looking for different things to do in COVID when tourism wasn't happening, of course, being in tourism.
We had to be creative, right?
We had to be creative,
A lot of good things happened because of that.
Listen, we started a project too during COVID.
Exactly. We started this. I started a lot of other stuff, and you know, but the relationship happened during that time.
Yeah,
we had
maybe
a
you
talk.
Take over.
Yeah, we had a talk in 2020 and started officially in January 2021 to. The objective was we need a video every week. And we got to be consistent on YouTube. And the theme is Madeira. And there's a lot of things. Like in the first year, one of the worries that Jeff had was, we got to do videos about Madeira. But at some point, we're going to run out of
things
topics.
To talk about.
And it's been 5 years, so this is the 5th year.
Yeah.
Right? And there's so much more.
Yeah, we still haven't
There's
run
so
out.
much more.
Isn't that interesting?
Yeah,
like,
it's crazy.
You know, it's funny you're saying that because when we started the podcasts, we also were like, oh, we're gonna run out of people to talk to. It's like it's not gonna work out. Like this is gonna end pretty soon. And then 2 years later or 3 years later now, we not only have one, we have like 8 or 9 other podcasts going on. So there's obviously people to talk to.
Yeah, like again, it's themes, people, everything.
And then people bring people too, right?
Exactly. And even places, for example, I've been in Madeira my whole life, was born and raised there, never left, only for tourism and work sometimes, but always lived there. And I have still places in Madeira that I never went to.
Wow.
And Jeff is in the business of tourism and doing tours. And Jeff also has places that never went to on Madeira.
And this is, so I was born in Canada, but I was raised in Portugal. And my idea of the islands, the Azores or Madeira, was that they're like small little places, like probably with 10 or 20 little houses. But that's not the reality.
No.
It's a pretty big island. There's a lot to do, and you're confirming that. I mean, you live there all your life, and you still have places you haven't seen.
Yeah.
Is that what you get from tourists when they get there? The first time that they go, are they surprised to see so much and to see the beauty that the island brings?
Yeah, I mean, we do get obviously tourists who come and they say, "Oh wow, it's a lot bigger than we thought." And it is a lot bigger than people think.
Yeah.
Yes, there's this thing of it's being small, and I can understand that. If you, like I said before, when I moved, there were like people that were, running bets on how long I was going to take, to come back,
Yeah.
Because it's like, he's going to go there, he's going to see there's nothing there, and it's not going to happen. And it was tough, it was tough to get work. It was tough to get started. I remember there was a time that I was almost coming back. I was like pretty dead set. I'd already told my parents, I was like, listen, I'm done. This experiment is over.
Not going to work out.
It's not working out. I'm coming back. And then I landed up getting a job like the next day. So it was like a job that I didn't keep. I was there for maybe about almost a year, but it wasn't a job. What I thought I needed was a job, that job. So it is tough, and it's still tough, it's still tough these days. However, I think it's a lot easier now that the world is in this digital space.
Makes it a little bit smaller, right?
Well,
closer to people.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So, if you want to, you can, you can do marketing for some company and live in Madeira, right?
Yeah,
for
exactly.
instance.
Well, there's the digital nomad thing is a huge thing now, right?
Nomad thing.
Yeah.
So there's new opportunities now in Madeira that didn't exist 30, 40, 50 years ago.
Yeah.
And this video journey that you guys are in, so are you guys, so you built, we have the train passing by, this is Toronto, this video business that you guys started off, was it with what was the objective of it to start off? And where are you now? Because I'm pretty sure it's changed since the day one to now.
You want to take this one?
Well, so we basically started the studio, right? It was because I think Jeff kind of looked at me and he was like, "Well, you could do way more if you started a business." And of course, like we have been doing videos since 2021, and I was like, "Well, maybe we should start it together." Jeff is not from the area of audiovisual, but he has an interest in it, and while we were in the early stages of building something up, one of the things that I really wanted to focus was cinema, documentaries and fiction and all of that thing. In the beginning, it was tough. We started with commercials, and we still do that, and that's a big part of the business. But I think this documentary, especially documentary genre of cinema, is something that we could do much more and join this this thing of ours, right? This love for Madeira and this love for the culture and this love for the people and everything. Join that to the video business and make documentaries that mean something to the community and to show the world how Madeira is like. And the YouTube channel was a little bit like that. So yeah, last year we did 2 documentaries. One was about the city of Funchal, the workers. It was something. So the camera, right? The city hall asked us to do a documentary on the workers, and they had an idea, right? They had the idea of to show off their work, right?
Okay.
So it's like it was a little bit of a political move in there, but our studio, Popsec Studio, has a different way of presenting all this. So instead of just showing off what they did, we tried and we interviewed the people. We want to know who they are, why they ended up working for the city. Do they like what they do?
Yeah.
So we went for this more humane way of looking at all they do, right?
More of the storytelling part, right?
Exactly. So, and that's what we want to go for in all of our projects, mainly the projects related to cinema.
So you've shifted more towards there? Or was that always a goal to go into like a more of a documentary style of videos?
That was what I wanted.
What you wanted.
And then, with Jeff, and Jeff was like, yeah, we should go for also the, publicity and ads and everything. And there's a huge market in that. And we still do that. But I think our highlights of what we can do, you can tell more in the cinema.
Your
aspect
passion
of it.
is more there, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And it doesn't mean that Popsec is not a good studio to do commercial ads. And again, we do those, and but we put a little, a little thing, a little something.
And I have to ask
the cinema aspect to it. Right?
I have to ask the name of the studio. Who came up with the name? Because I love it.
It was me. Yeah, it was me. So in 2017, way before knowing Jeff, we started. It was me and 4 of my friends. We started a group, and we wanted to do short films.
Yeah.
Fantastical, esoteric short films. And we started doing that. We did a bunch of them, and ended up being in some film festivals. Some of them in the US, like smaller ones.
Oh, awesome.
But we were so passionate about it, and we did a bunch of them. And after a while, it came. A bunch of those friends started doing some other stuff, and they ended up doing something else, and me and my brother were the ones left.
Yeah.
And then we stopped that project for a little bit, and then when I met Jeff, we were like, well, I have this name of a group that I had. Let's do it. So Popsec is Pop Seco, right?
Yeah, the typical bread, yes.
The Portuguese bread, right? And we have something in Madeira that I don't know if in the mainland is the same, but in Madeira we say, vamos fazer aquilo a Pop Seco.
Yes.
So it's like a Pop Seco is like, I'm going to do this, whatever. It's
whatever,
like,
just get it done, kind of thing.
Just get it done, right? And that's a little bit of our style. It's like, yeah, there's like a million problems, but we got to do it.
Exactly.
And we got to do it well. But, how? We'll find out. So that's Popsec. That could also mean popular in a second.
But you guys spell it a little bit different, just to be a little bit cooler, right?
P-O-P-S-A-C.
Exactly.
Yeah, and Jeff was like, dude, this is great. Let's use it.
Yeah, so to give you an idea as well, just maybe it wasn't 100% clear, like when we started doing our thing for Hit the Road Madeira, which is my YouTube channel and my business, my tourism business, I was purely employing André to film all those videos. And then in 2022, 23, when did we incorporate Popsec? 2023 was where André was thinking of, moving to the next kind of phase in business.
Who would ever think a Popsec would be incorporated? You know what I mean?
Yeah. And then it was that, I remember he was asking me for advice because I've had my business for so long, or at least for much longer than he has. And, eventually it got to the point where it was like, okay, listen, you want to start a business, you want a partner, because he wanted a partner, I could tell. And that's why he was asking, he was thinking about this guy, thinking about that guy. Everyone who was already familiar with video
Yeah.
Who was in the video game, you know. And then that's when it kind of just happened where the two of us was like, listen, man, like, you know, why don't we just do it? Like, you know, you already know me. I can be the sales marketing guy. You can be the CEO, hands-on.
Honestly, that's the perfect marriage right there, right?
Yeah.
Because a lot of it's exactly like a marriage because, well, first of all, having a company, having partners is a marriage. You guys got to get along. No divorces. But the good thing is that you actually have similarities, which is, you know, the love of doing the video and all of that, but you have different strengths, right?
Yeah.
And I think that's like, even in a couple, that's what you want. If you're going to get two people that are exactly the same, usually it doesn't work out.
Yeah.
You got to have something that's different. And I think, you know, you being more into the marketing and all of that, and you being more into the video, I think that's probably why it's working well.
Yeah, and the YouTube channel. I mean, Jeff is the mastermind of all the themes and all how he wants to tell the story, right? And I'm the technical guy. I edit, I shoot, I do all.
Oh, you're like a Jamie.
Stuff.
Okay.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
In front of the camera, behind the camera.
Yeah, everywhere.
I get it.
So yeah, that's basically it. And I think, you know, this thing of speaking about Madeira, he was speaking that, you know, Jeff was like, he came to Madeira and he was trying to get a job and he wasn't successful, and you told your parents, right? This is not working out, and something happened, right? For me, it was a little bit the same. So I was born there, like I told you. Was born there, grew up there, and at some point in every teenager's life, be it like at 18 or a little bit before that, you're confronted with the possibility of, can I stay? Will I stay? Or should I just go abroad and find how big the world is? And I had that question.
Of course.
And, you know, since I was 18 up until probably the 23, 24, I always had the struggle of, am I doing the correct, having the correct decision of staying in Madeira? Is my talent fit for somewhere else? Will I find more opportunities abroad? And probably I would have found many other opportunities, for example, here in Canada.
Yeah.
But I decided to stay because ultimately it was my decision. Of course, all my family is in there and all my friends were in there. But something happened. I don't know what, but something happened and I decided to stay. And to this day, I don't regret a single bit. Amazing. And I'm going to continue in Madeira.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have my family in there, and if all goes well, I'll die in there someday. I want to be in there. Something happened, something shifted, and I think more and more that's happening to people of our generation.
Yeah,
and many people coming back as well.
I think you know what it's that the pursuits. It's what you're saying. I think at a young age, when we're out of high school, I think that's when we start dreaming about. Oh, you know, I want to. You watch movies, you watch series, you watch all of this stuff, and things get into your head, and what would it be like to be in New York and you know, or go to LA or something like that? And I think what you came to the realization is that a lot of the people in New York and LA, as an example, they want to go to Madeira and they want to have that life that you already have. And I think you came to that conclusion, you realized that. But I do have to ask you, before we continue, how did you learn your English? Because it's perfect, man.
Is it?
It is.
It's pretty good.
Yeah, no,
it's very good.
Sometimes I think I'm saying nonsense, but...
Listen, I know people here that have been here for like 50 years that wish they spoke English like you. So what's the secret?
A good part was having a British friend in the same class as me during my 7th, 8th, and 9th grade. So what happened was that he influenced all the boys in the class to start speaking in English because it was cool. Because video games, series,
of course,
films, right? And we were always influenced by those things. And in school, we would, even if that friend wasn't there, we would just speak in English.
Really,
and that's basically it.
But still, I mean, you probably have a little bit of a gift with languages because it's not common to have somebody. You know, do you agree or not,
Jeff?
Jeff?
Big impact as well, because
I guess, yeah.
I speak with English. With Jeff, you know, I speak in
Oh,
English with Jeff.
you guys speak mostly in English?
Yeah,
which
it's
is
crazy.
funny,
It's
yeah.
like I think when we start speaking in Portuguese together, it feels a little bit off.
Listen, I get it because even in our community, I have people that, you know, I know that they speak Portuguese and English, but for some weird reason, if you start speaking with them in one of the languages, that's the language you're going to keep on speaking with that person, which is kind of interesting, right? So I guess the fact that you guys probably started speaking English to each other first just continued, right? But no, congrats, man. I mean, you know, you're a good example for a lot of people here. Like, learn English.
Yeah,
it's good to it's good to know a second language.
And you don't need to get out of your island or place of birth or whatever.
That's a really good point too.
Now, like with all this globalization, right, and the access that you have,
absolutely,
to everything. I mean, you can pick up something.
Now, what's interesting is that you guys do everything in English in your channel. Mm-hmm. So you're really trying to gather the English demographic, obviously.
Yes, because this channel is, you know, kind of directed to, it's, you know, 60% of my channel is directed towards potential clients. Mm-hmm. And those potential clients are tourists that come to Madeira. So,
do you know? Can you see on the stats like which is your biggest pocket? Like where globally?
So ours at our channel, it's England and United States and Canada.
Really?
England, United States and Canada.
England #1.
Yeah,
interesting.
And that's because,
but that could be geographically as well, because it's closer, probably.
It's also because it's our biggest market in Madeira.
That's true.
So like 200 years of British people coming to Madeira.
Yeah, makes sense.
And you know for sure, if you make content, you know, it's the type of content you're going to create is going to attract the kind of audience that you want.
Absolutely.
So, for instance, me having a tourism business, I have to create content that's going to, you know, attract my perfect client, right? Yeah. Which is somebody that's coming to Madeira, that knows nothing about Madeira, that wants to see the island. Usually that person speaks English.
Yeah, even if they're not from an English-speaking country, usually English is kind of like that second language that everybody knows, right? Yeah.
So that's really the simple reason. But very often we're doing interviews, even in Madeira, we're interviewing locals there and they speak in Portuguese because they can't speak English.
Yeah.
You know, we did one on a woodworker, a guy who makes... you know, all these wooden crafts.
But you're captioning it
and
for
the...
Captioning okay, gotcha.
And he was speaking in Portuguese because he doesn't even speak English, you know.
Yeah.
So that's what it is. I mean, I'd love to do something just in Portuguese or just do the artistic stuff.
Do you think you'd feel comfortable doing it in Portuguese as well as you're doing it in English?
Nowadays, yes. Yeah? Nowadays.
Okay.
But if it was like 3 years ago, maybe
so
not.
André, now you got a mission. You got to give him like a little side project.
Yeah, exactly. Well, if it's going to be captioning it, it's going to be more work. Because one funny thing, there's AI, right? And AI is great. But the accent, though. He can't pick Madeiran or Azorian accent.
Oh, really?
No.
But it can't even pick the regular Portuguese that well. Like, I'm still having...
Better. It's better.
It is better. I do agree with you. But I still sometimes, depending on who's on camera. If the person on camera is like... The AI is like, what the heck is this guy saying?
Exactly. So you got to do it manually. I mean, the AI can do a good head start, but then you have to, you know...
Exactly. But you got to teach AI. AI is still... I feel like AI, we're dealing with a toddler still.
Yeah.
Still like, you know, it's still one of those things. Though. It's growing. Speaking of which, so how are you guys integrating all of that stuff now on like in your business?
Oof.
You want to talk about it? Because Jeff had like some weeks of just building with AI.
Cool. I'm asking this because listen, I'm also into like the whole AI system, and I see it as a tool. I don't know if you see it the same way.
100%,
yeah. So I'm curious to find out. I'm not going to say anything until you talk.
Yeah. So as a business owner, right? As a business owner, of course, I see a lot of opportunities to, first of all, help my business get more efficient, right? So we're trying to do something new, which is we want to go almost 100% AI customer care in our business.
Interesting.
And I say almost 100% because the first thing is, what makes our business so popular is that we're a people business. So for instance, if you go to Madeira and you take a tour with us, you're going to get a personalized message from us. You're going to get these little human touches. So sometimes if someone knows me well and knows my business well, and I say that, they go, oh my God, but hold on. No bot is going to be able to speak the way you speak. Yes, it's true. But 80% of my queries are not, I don't need to be a professional to answer them. If I've got a guest who's going on a tour tomorrow and he wants to know what time is his pickup, and he can just go to a bot and say, hey, what time is my pickup tomorrow? The bot can say, what was your name? Was it Mark? Yeah, it's Mark. Okay, Mark, we've got you down for 8 a.m.
Because it has access to the calendar. It knows exactly what the name of the people and all of that. Yeah.
And it's instantaneous, right? So if I'm, asking a query, then as soon as I've, asked that query, that response can come straight after. So if I'm somebody who's going on a tour tomorrow and I say, hey, Hit the Road, I'd like to know, what time is my tour tomorrow? If you were dealing with a person, you might have to wait an hour, 2 hours.
Exactly.
Imagine if it's just before lunch or...
And are these responses text-wise or voice?
Well, we eventually... This is the plan, right? But I want to get into voice because voice is getting much better.
It's crazy. Have you guys had conversations with ChatGPT or Claude or anything like that? It's insane, man.
Insane.
It's insane.
So there's all of that. There's really interesting things. For instance, everyone's talking about agentic workflows. And what I was thinking about the other day is like, well, how do you build an agentic workflow for another agentic workflow to use?
You're going into layers there, huh?
Because think about it. It's one thing when a person is interacting with a bot, right? What's going to happen in the future when someone else's bot is interacting with your bot?
Yeah, because you can tell it, hey, listen, call this guy and find out about when my trip is going to be. So now that bot is going to call your bot. Figure that out.
You're not going to speak to me. You're going to speak to my bot. So your bot's going to speak to my bot, and we're going to book a podcast.
That's it.
You know what I mean?
I think humans are just going to sit on the couch and just talk. That's how we're going to do.
Hey, it's certainly going to be a wild world. But when I see things like that, for instance, you've seen the Meta glasses. Right?
I think I'm going to be waiting for the next generation to get them. I'm kind of holding off. They're expensive. I don't know if the boss is going to let me, but I want to get that POV, I think is very interesting.
Yeah, they're awesome.
Yeah.
We already used that POV in our videos.
Really?
I've got a pair there. I'll show you.
But oh boy. Gonna get into expenses.
So I was thinking, imagine, because on those glasses, for instance, you can connect straight up to WhatsApp. So you can send a WhatsApp message or something. You can be like, hey, WhatsApp, send me this message.
And it shows on the screen too, right?
No, it doesn't.
No, not this one.
Audio.
This one, no.
It's just audio?
So it's like you were wearing AirPods.
That's the one I'm getting.
Yeah.
Now, for me as a driver, it's fantastic that I can drive and still have my glasses on. I can record video. I can answer phone calls. I can make phone calls. So imagine if, I'm driving to my pickup to pick up some guests to show them, but I'm in traffic, right? And I haven't yet arrived.
There's traffic in Madeira?
There is traffic, yeah. So I can be real quick. I can hit the glasses and be like, hey, the Hit the Road bot. Like, I'm running a little bit late. Could you call my client and just let them know that I'm on the way, for instance?
That's amazing.
And it's done.
Right? And they can do that from their glasses, while they're driving, So this is like solutions that are very easily...
So are you seeing, because the big fear out there is, AI is going to take everybody's job away. AI is going to be the end of the world. I feel like AI will take some jobs away, obviously, but I think it will also bring a ton of other jobs that we still don't even know what they are.
Yes.
They're
Yep.
still going to be created.
Security. would be one.
Absolutely. But I feel like, especially at this stage, I'm kind of like in your mindset is, how can this help me? How can this be a tool to make me as an entrepreneur be more successful,
Yep.
quicker,
Yeah.
better at what I do?
Yeah, and your clients. So for me as well, for instance, there's limitations on my business. So if somebody goes and books a tour now with me, for instance, I'm using a booking software to have this all happen, which people will know in the industry, they'll know how it works, but it's basically a software that you pay a lot of money for, right, that manages all your bookings across different platforms and calendars and kind of makes it all in one place. But there's limitations, there's things that it can't do. So for instance, I can tell my booking system that I have 4 vehicles and that I have 5 tours, right? So I've got the sunrise tour, the west tour, the east tour, and the private tour, for instance. And I can say which vehicles I use for which tours, but I can't say which guides I use for each tours, for instance.
Okay.
That's just a limitation on the software I use.
Yeah.
So imagine, because there's different guides I have that do different tours. So, you know, Fabio will not do a sunrise tour, but he'd do a sunset tour. I would do a sunrise tour.
He's more of an evening guy, I guess.
Yeah, so he's got kids.
We
so-
get you, Fabio. We get you. We
Yeah.
understand you. I get you.
So now imagine where this system can now see. Okay, well, for tomorrow, you know, we don't have Fabio available, therefore we can't sell sunsets tomorrow. So there's something. Imagine someone books with us, for instance, and they get an automatic calendar invite to their tour, right?
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
something we don't do at the moment. We can't do. So,
But you will.
but we will. So there's things that we can do for our clients already that's going to give more value to the clients. So the client books a tour, they're going to get a calendar invite. So now they won't forget, right?
Yeah.
Within the calendar, there's going to be the information relevant to the tour that they've booked. Within the calendar, there's going to be things there. They'll get a quick WhatsApp message, you know, because the bot will check. Do they have WhatsApp? Yes. Okay.
And then it will
Let's
connect.
create a
Boom.
contact on WhatsApp. Let's send them a message. Here's the links of our favorite restaurants. Or here's a PDF on 10 things to do in Funchal.
So if you were to hire somebody to do that, it would take that person, hours.
Yeah.
While with AI and these bots,
It's a system.
it's just a system.
Yeah.
And now here comes the purists out there saying, okay, but now you just gave away that person's job or those 2 people's job. Well, probably not, because now if you can scale your business, make it bigger, probably that person, instead of doing the boring
Admin work. kind of
work,
thing,
can
yeah.
be probably greeting people, because that no bots, no AI is going to do,
Exactly.
right?
I think
Having a face, having that smile, having that interaction. And I think we're going to be going into more of that emotional type of jobs. I
Yeah.
think people in the last, I would say in the last 50 years have become more and more and more like machines. We're sitting in front of machines. We're doing things. We are the extension of the machine almost.
Yep.
And I feel like
morning routines.
exactly. And I feel like the future is going to be more of a humans being humans
Yeah,
again.
exactly. I think so,
because AI won't get to that point. It might get to, obviously the way it's going, I wouldn't be surprised that we're going to get there very soon. But I think as human beings, we will figure out if it's a human or if it's a robot that's going to be talking to us. In some cases, it's going to be hard if we're not seeing him. But
Yeah.
I still honestly think that as human beings, we always are going to have that space and that capability of being in front of people, showcasing emotion, seeing the other people in the eye, and being like doing this. If I was an AI, I would have the questions in my head and I would just be spitting out questions.
Yeah.
It's not the same thing.
Not the same thing.
I make mistakes, but that's what makes me human, right? Same thing with you guys. And I feel like as human beings, we feel more comfortable with that. So to a lot, like I have this conversation with a lot of people out there, and it always comes down to the same thing. I'm not afraid of AI. I embrace AI as a tool.
Me too.
Yeah.
Bottom line.
I think so too. You know, the only reservation that I have is generative AI. For the creative aspect of things.
Yeah.
And I think, you know, no AI will ever recreate the artistic expression that
The
a human
emotion.
can. Emotion.
The
That's
emotion.
It's all about emotion,
Yeah.
like you were saying.
But I think people will go through that. Like, you know, my daughter's taking communications now in university, and one of her biggest fears is like, you know, the integration of AI and
Right.
what AI is going to take away from
Yeah.
their field. But I keep saying that the emotion that you can put on your video, that slight little move of the camera because you felt something there, I don't think a machine can detect that.
It's gonna be like how it happened during the
Industrial Revolution?
Yeah, exactly. So industrial revolution came, and whatever was being made handmade was put aside, forgotten about it, and machines were doing hundreds, thousands, millions of products.
And people
right?
thought that the world was going to end because of that. Yeah.
Exactly. And nowadays, a handmade product is more valuable. People admire it more. So the okay, maybe you don't have like thousands and thousands of customers, but those hundreds of customers are gonna pay more possibly for your
Exactly.
things than those thousands that the factory made.
Because now those are special.
Exactly. In the future, maybe not now, but in the future, what's the things that are human made are going to become more valuable.
Absolutely, 100%. Like we were just talking off camera about Gary Vee, and he has a saying that, like he says it a lot during his presentations, that, you know, when the agriculture revolution came and the tractors came into action, everybody was like, oh my God, we're not going to have, you know, what's going to happen now? You know, we're used to, the world went on.
Yeah.
Here we are, and now we have AI, and everybody's worried again. But we're humans, and this is what we do. I think one thing after the next. Electricity, when it first came up, people thought it was the devil. They're like, "Oh my God, how can that? That's impossible to happen." And now it's like, if we don't have electricity, we're screwed. So you know, it's. I think as human beings, we always have a tendency, for some weird reason, of making it the worst case scenario.
Yeah,
oh my
exactly.
God, it's gonna kill us.
But that's
Because
how it
everybody
makes
saw
us
Terminator,
adapt,
so
right?
now
yeah, but that's what makes us being a very highly adaptable
Yeah.
species, right? And this is just another test.
exactly.
And yeah, I use as a tool. Jeff uses as a tool. I mean, there's a lot of boring stuff in editing.
100%.
If AI can do that for me, and I can only focus on the narrative
Instead of
aspect
spending
everything,
5 hours doing that edit, you know.
please, I'll take it any day, right? I'm happy just filming, being on the ground, and putting the puzzle together, but not selecting the clips, not transcribing everything. No.
Yeah.
Let AI do all of that, and it's
Yeah.
fine. Let's be more creative.
I agree.
With less technical bullshit, right?
Exactly. I agree 100%.
And you have to learn it,
Yeah.
you know, because people also think, oh, it's
Yeah,
AI,
don't
it's
be afraid of it.
ChatGPT. You know, there's so much more to it, you know. We
Yeah.
know there's Grok, there's the, you know, all the new, there's N8Ns and Zapiers and
I mean,
and
every day there's something new coming
and
up.
Claude you mentioned,
yeah.
and you know, it's not just.
But even for the video stuff and the images and all of that, there's so much going on, and you know, it's getting so much better. But at the end of the day, I don't think it's going to replace actors or people that have and can bring value into this field of video, since we're talking about video and all and that. But I feel like it can complement each other. You know what I mean? Because sometimes. What was I watching the other day? But a commercial came up, and it was a car commercial, and I could tell that was most of it was done by AI. And I'm thinking to myself, here's another company doing everything on AI, but I'm like, you know what? To do what they've done, it would be impossible to try to replicate that in real life, because they got the car going from snow to the desert to the this to the that.
Yeah.
Yep.
I mean, you could probably throw in a couple of $1 million to do that
Yeah.
with special effects and all that, but really, I mean, you have a tool, get that done.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Why would a company have to spend millions of dollars in order to get just like a 60-second commercial done?
Yeah.
Versus, you know, a couple thousand. And here we go again. Like, oh, but now you're taking away the job of all those people that would have gone. But is it worth it at the end of the day, right? So then there's that.
Yeah, but then again,
But they might not
you
be
can
taking the
still.
job.
But that's the thing. It's like
it
you
could
can
be the
still
same agency.
You could, yeah, but
Exactly.
you can still see the difference.
Yeah.
You knew
yeah, exactly.
it was AI. If it wasn't, I mean, yeah, there's a natural selection that's gonna happen.
Yeah, and I feel, you know what? It's funny we're talking about all this because just yesterday, we do social media for clients and we do a lot of marketing stuff as well, and we use AI for we're starting to implement it in a lot of little things, and we sent a video the other day to a client of ours, and we threw in a couple of little clips of an AI's of one of their machines and all of that, and the guy replied back, I don't think that's the right machine. AI is still not there, and people can pick it up, right? For us, because we're not in it, it was perfect. It was great. It looks amazing. Yeah. But the client, because it's their thing, they knew right away. Okay, no, exactly. that machine is not like that.
Yeah.
That's not the way it should be. So we are also like trying to learn and see, okay, what are the capabilities, where we could use it, where we shouldn't use it, so that is it going to be visible right away as AI? Is it not? I think this is the stage we're at. We're in a testing. We're all like grabbing all these test tubes and we're experimenting and trying to figure everything out.
Yeah, and that's what I wanted to say as well, which is that thing that you have to learn about it. When people say, oh no, Jeff's in AI and he's doing all this stuff, like, yeah, because I tell people, I'm like, we are trying to do these things, but that also means I'm 5, 6, 7 hours in front of the computer trying to get something just really stupid working. Trying to get this
the figuring out part is crazy, right?
Yeah and then you spend 7 or 8 or 9 hours into it if you're lucky and not more. And then you go, you know what? I actually built this whole thing wrong, and I don't need to do this for 7 hours. Like now I know how to fix it. Yeah. It's like, because you need to figure it out. You need to play with it.
That's when you stop and you go take a break and you go have one of the what's it called? A poncha. There you go. From the typical drink from Madeira, right? That's when you take a break, Jeff.
That's when AI starts taking over, and all you need to do is drink poncha.
Just drink poncha.
Oh man! But now let's come back to Canada. Why you guys are here and why your YouTube channel is, what are you guys doing around here? Can you let us know a little bit of what might be showing up on your channel?
Yeah, of course. So, like I said, we came up with this idea. Actually, I don't know if I said it. We've been speaking on so many places that I've forgotten what I've said to who. But, we come out to the States and because I was an immigrant in South Africa, I kind of got this feeling, and I was looking for a way. The first time I came to the United States in 2017, I know I'm in Canada, but the first time was 2017 to visit family that I've got there. And I loved the place so much that I thought, okay, how do I connect Portugal and America? This was something that I was going on in my head, as a businessman mostly. It's like, how do I?
Because you saw the market, the size of the market here as well. Is that something that you wanted to tap into?
Yeah, as well. Also being on an island, and for being on an island for a very long time, you kind of forget how big the world is.
Yeah, definitely.
So
we're starting to see Jeff's entrepreneurship coming up here, bubbling up.
Yeah, and I was like, how do I do this? And this was before the vlog, and and I was thinking, how do I do this? How do I do this? Then eventually, we came up with this idea that. I just had this thing about the immigration. I wanted to know, what was it like here? Was it like how it was in South Africa? Where people went to the festas and people danced and they went to the festivals in the churches and all these kinds of things. And then this idea was born of like, okay, well, let's make a film out of it. Let's make a movie. Let's get a documentary or something.
Yeah.
And it kind of changed. Over the past few years that we've been doing this, it kind of changed directions a few times. For instance, at first I thought what we were gonna do is we were gonna make like places as chapters. You know, so you'd have like Massachusetts as a chapter, you know, and California as a chapter, and then Toronto as a chapter, and Montreal as a chapter. And then we came out, we started filming, and we were like, no, okay, that's not a good idea, because one, many places are very similar. So you're going to watch you're going to watch a chapter on Newark and a chapter on Massachusetts, and it's very similar, right?
Okay, so you found that the communities around...
That there are similarities.
Okay.
There's a lot of similarities, yeah.
So then we decided, okay, well, now what we need to do is then we need to actually, like, break this down into themes. So, for instance, the first chapter would be, like, the very beginning, the reason why, right? Why did people leave?
Yeah.
That's the reason. Number one, why did they leave? Number two, where did they go? So... if they were coming to the States, you know, they came into Canada, they were going into, you know, Nova Scotia or whatever, just like if they were going into New York, you know, they were going in through Castle Clinton. Is it Castle?
Castle Clinton, yeah.
Castle Clinton?
Yeah.
Or the other one.
There's another one, yeah.
Now this is the brain fog is coming in.
Yeah, exactly.
We're going to watch the video and we're going to see it all.
Exactly.
Ellis Island.
Ellis Island. Okay.
Castle Clinton. In Boston, apparently people just came into Boston, into the harbor of Boston.
Yeah.
So that's number two. And then number three would be like, okay, the Portuguese club, right? That's a chapter on itself. So then we need to talk about the club. The folklore is another one. So we need to talk about folklore. So now we've gotten to this point where, you know, we used YouTube to kind of get things out already and to already build up some momentum. And, you know, people enjoy. I've had clients from Canada, Canadian Portuguese, that go to Madeira. They want to do a tour with me.
Yeah.
And we do a tour and they're like, oh, we love
expect our team here to go there.
Yeah, of course. and, you know, they watch the videos about when we're in Canada and they love it, you know.
We'll do a podcast in one of your Jeeps as we're going. And we'll just do a podcast there. Yeah. With the nice sunsets. And
we might have a podcast space by the time you come out there.
All right, cool.
Yeah, that's going to be great.
You know, so I think I've sparked an idea in André's mind when he's seen this.
Oh,
yeah.
Listen, take our studio there.
But so what are we doing here? Right, we're on this particular trip. We're filming folklore. So folklore is the mission for this particular trip, and it was that we were coming to Mississauga for that particular trip because their folklore group at their festival, they've got the Guinness Book of Records for the biggest folklore dance in the. Or the largest ethnic dance, I think it is.
Yeah, something like that. It was like the biggest amount of people, the most amount of people,
So I thought that was interesting enough to kind of start leading a conversation into folklore. And also because we went to some other, like in the States, for instance, we found another club that does a huge festa. Yeah. Massive party. And I don't want to say who because I don't want to speak bad in this sense. But their folklore group is not...
Yeah.
You know. Yeah. And then when you hear about the folklore groups in America, they're dwindling, and you know they don't have such.
Probably because I mean they've been there for a long time now, and this is one of the things that I value the effort that people in the community that get into the folklore and into those traditions and try to keep them going, because I mean even in Portugal you don't see a lot of groups dancing folklore. You see way more outside in the communities in Canada or the States or anywhere else in the world than you actually see in Portugal. Yeah, in Portugal they have their groups, but if you are to compare the numbers, I think there's like tenfold outside of Portugal. Yeah. But at the same time, how to keep the traditions going, because, you know, they're supposed to be danced a certain way. They need to dress a certain way. They need to act a certain way. Like you can't have jewelry. There's all of these rules and regulations to keep that official. And it's not easy to maintain, right? It's not easy to maintain. So, you know, whenever I see the groups, even though it's not, I'm going to be honest, it's not something I love to watch. I wasn't brought up watching folklore groups. I'm not going to say I don't like them. I like the tradition. I like seeing, but I feel like, I gotta give them a lot of credit for keeping that tradition alive. And it's funny because with our project Ora Catamos, we try to cover a lot of the events in the community, and it's interesting to see people, friends of mine and my wife's in Portugal, commenting and saying it's so good to see our traditions keeping themselves alive outside of Portugal, because I feel like almost in Portugal it's really dying off.
Yeah, well, yeah.
In some areas, yeah. In Madeira, I wouldn't say so. We have a big group in there, the Camacha group. Shout out Camacha group. They're the oldest folklore group in Madeira, 75 or 76 years old.
Oh, wow.
But again, it's odd one out, because the other ones, they exist, but again, I can understand what do you mean by dying out, because the new generation is not as interested as the previous generation.
Well, you know what? And just before we sat down here, you guys were having a conversation with Joe, and he was saying something about a group that we have here in Toronto from Minho, and it's amazing to see the youth. And even kids that aren't even Portuguese, that are just friends of the kids that are there, and they just tag them along, and they're coming into it, and they're dancing, and they're picking up these traditions. So in a way, it's almost like some branches are dying off, but then you see other branches still coming up, and that's kind of like the little glimpse of hope that the traditions will always continue, right? Because just looking at those groups that I'm thinking of from Minho, and some other groups that we have in our community, they're flourishing, right? They have the youth, so there's still hope. And I mean, what you guys are doing with your YouTube channel and trying to capture that, I think it's really great that you guys are doing that. And because you're capturing these moments. Oh, my phone! You're capturing these moments, and you're keeping them in a vault that anybody in the next generations hopefully will be able to still see that and see what the struggles were, and that's why I love documentaries too. So that's why I'm like, kudos to you guys.
Yeah, and it's funny, like this might be a little bit off topic, but it will make sense. Like part of the vlogging for me as well, like I love the fact that I've got this YouTube vlog that every weekend this me on YouTube speaking about something, is that in 30, 40, 50 years time, my grandkids can get to know me. Yeah. If they want to. Yeah. They can go and see these videos. They can see how I used to talk, what was I passionate about, so.
Oh, that's where I get it from. Okay.
Yeah. They can be like, I don't know what I can't now go and check out some things that my grandparents did, because for instance, my grandparents didn't write books, and I know some that did, right?
Like imagine if they vlogged their trip to South Africa. Imagine.
Exactly.
Amazing story. Like think about it. I would have been, going by boat, getting to a country you know nobody, and you have to get into that culture and try to survive.
People do it these days, right? Yeah. Because people vlog about a new life somewhere.
And those are the best ones that we love watching, right?
Exactly.
I think, most people love the storytelling, love the, exactly that, seeing the perspective from that person's eyes and experience, right? And, when we think about the past, I think that's the thing that's missing and that I think our generation is really, really, really fortunate that we're able to do this.
Yes.
To have this conversation, to do a vlog, to talk to people. But it's, in 100 years from now, people can still watch it. That blows my mind.
That's gotta be crazy.
Which they won't. They're gonna speak to an AI hologram.
Of us.
We're gonna be like the trading cards of the future. You know what I mean? Oh, have you seen this vlog? Have you seen that vlog?
This is what I think about these days. It's like, what is my... because I did a very interesting thing. So I had this idea, which I'm still going to do more of. We spoke about AI. Yeah. So I downloaded 40, I know exactly how many. It was 42 video transcripts of my vlog. I downloaded them through AI, so I got the video transcripts.
Okay.
And then cleaned them up with AI to topics and things. And then from that, all those scripts, I created like my own bots.
Really?
As that thing.
With just brain.
Yeah.
in it.
So it's the way I speak,
So
the way
you're cloning yourself.
Yeah,
All
kind
right.
of.
Cool.
kind of, right? And I started this work, you know, and again, built it the wrong way, right? For like 4 or 5 days, building this thing with ChatGPT. Now I know what a better way to do it.
It's a learning process, man.
Of course. But what was left was something very interesting because, for instance, like even my mother now uses it because my mother's calling me up. She's got Airbnbs in Madeira. She's got Airbnbs, and every now and then a guest asks her a question that she doesn't know how to get around, you know.
Yeah.
And she calls me, she's like, Jeff, you know, like I got this clients asking me about this hike, you know.
Yeah.
And the last time I was like, just ask the bot, you know. She's like, what do you mean? I was like, the bot that I sent you, just ask the bot, you know. And she's like, oh, okay, fine. And she asked the bot, and then she just didn't call back, you know. So I call her back. I'm like, hey, what's going on? Like, did you get it? It's like, oh, yeah, thank you. No, I'm all sorted.
So the bot is capable of going into your transcripts, figuring out all that information.
Everything I've said.
And if I ask a question and the answer's in there, it knows how to answer back.
Exactly.
Brother, that's amazing.
So now you can talk with me, Ryan.
I need to do that one for my wife so that if she has any questions, I can just direct her to the bot.
Just ask the bot. Just ask the bot.
She's listening.
She's back there, people. She's okay. I haven't gotten anything thrown at me yet, so I'm good.
No, but look, maybe there's something in your podcast that you can do, you know? Maybe.
Yeah.
Well, I've got hours and hours and hours of podcasts, so I might just
You might
download
just think that idea. Think about
all
it.
the nonsense that I've said throughout all these years and see.
You know, in my case, it makes sense because it's all a niche
No, absolutely.
thing. It's all about Madeira. It's all about how I see Madeira.
Yeah, because you've got specific stuff from, you know,
and now,
all the locations. And
like, for instance, I don't think that the future anyone's going to want to read a travel guide, you know, like per se.
Oh,
you know,
no,
they're going to
no,
want to
no.
have a travel guide with them all the time.
Yeah.
You know, so if I'm in Toronto, I'll be like, hey, listen, you know, I'm on Dundas Street. And
well, it could probably even geolocate you.
Yeah, it could. Yeah. Exactly.
You know what I mean? It could just say, oh, okay, this, you know, your glasses can tell you you're on, you know, Dufferin and Dupont, and
they can check my Google Maps recommendations. You know, can look on my Google Maps.
Here's a place to eat. Here's a place to go shop.
All my favorite places, and be like, well, you know what, Jeff really likes to go to this bakery. Seems you're very close. Maybe you want to go there.
I think we're inventing the future here too.
Yeah.
We're gonna come up with more ideas.
Talking about
it. So you know, there's these things are very interesting to me. How are people going to be consuming video? How are they going to be speaking to each other? You know,
I'm excited for the future, man. I don't know if you guys are in the same boat.
Oh,
like a lot of people are using the whole fear thing. I'm excited. Like I know.
The sooner you accept it and adapt, the better you'll be off in a couple of years.
I know I'm an old guy by youth standards. So, you know, I'm an old guy already. Got the gray hair. Got all that going. But I was never one to turn my back to new things and technology. I'm always on it. Like I think I know. You know, my kids might come to me if you know what's the new model of this camera or this phone or what. I'm on it. I know it. I got it.
Yeah.
And I think that's why I'm still excited about this because I see the potential. You know what I mean? When we're talking and having, I mean, can you imagine wearing your glasses and having everything pop up right in front of you?
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Of course.
I mean, why are you going to be afraid of that? You know what I mean?
Yeah,
exactly.
Having all these recommendations. Yesterday, I was at a buddy's place. The guy that was on the picture that I showed you with Gary Vee.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah.
I was at Giorgio's place. He's got a pizzeria, and I was showing him grok, and we were just going through it. And I go, okay, tell me what's the best pizzeria here? And I said the location, so on St. Clair, and boom, it gave me his pizzeria. And he's like, oh, that's cool.
You see?
But this is what I mean. Like, people need to understand that you need to be a part of this new world and stop being in a bubble. Because if you're in a bubble, when you ask Grok or ChatGPT or Claude or whoever it is, what's the best restaurant to go? If you, as a restaurant owner, have not put your place there,
Oh yeah.
It's not going to tell you. It's not going to tell that person, oh, go to this place to go eat, or go get a trip with Jeff because he knows what he's doing. If Jeff didn't do anything with AI is not going to know who Jeff is.
Exactly.
100%.
Exactly.
So this is why, like I keep telling this to my clients as well, from a marketing perspective, stop being afraid of that and stop, going against the tide
start
all the
asking
time.
those questions. What can it do? What can it do for me? What can it do for my guests, for my clients?
Exactly. How can it expand the business?
Yeah,
Right?
100%.
Listen, I come. We're probably not that far off on age,
And I'm
but
telling you, we have no idea. I mean, like,
but listen, I was gonna say I used to when I started my business, I used to have to convince people that they needed a website.
right?
Okay, that was when I started.
Yeah.
And then right after that, I had to convince them that social media is a good thing.
Yeah.
And the responses I got back then was like, I don't need that. I've had my business for 50 years. I don't need a website. Why do I need a? Obviously, times have changed. People understand that now. But it's so difficult. And I think AI now is the same thing. When I tell people, because I'm always ahead, I try to, I tell them, you got to be, you got to speak to AI. You got to let AI know who you are, your business, what you're doing. I don't know. I already do social media. No, but you gotta keep going.
You gotta keep going.
You gotta keep
adapt,
going.
Always.
Yeah, and the sad thing is that a lot of people just won't do it. So it's going to open up opportunities for people who do, and then of course it's going to just be harder for people who don't.
It's nature's way of selection.
I used to say years ago, like I would see some of my friends. I'd see a friend of mine whose father had a job for like 30 years, the same job in the same company, doing the same thing for 30 years.
That doesn't exist anymore, man.
Yeah, and without trying to sound horrible as well, this guy got laid off a few years back and couldn't find another job. And obviously, why? Because there was only one thing that he knew how to do.
That was it.
And that's I think that's one of the biggest kind of traps that we have in the new modern world, is that if you think you're going to do what you're doing now for the rest of your life, like it's just not going to happen.
It's going to change in 6
and
months.
the people who know how to adapt are the ones who are going to survive. So
100%.
And I think AI is same story. You don't use it, fine. You're gonna fall behind. Even if you do use it, you're gonna fall behind.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Guys, I've been taking away your time for I don't know how long we've been here anymore, but it's been a while. The conversation's been amazing. Listen, microphones are yours. Talk about your project. Tell people where they can find you. If you want to give a glimpse of what's to come, microphone is yours, man.
Cool. Do you want to go first? You haven't been speaking much.
Well, for this past couple minutes, but yeah, sure. So, I just want to say that we have this studio, right? Audiovisual studio. We do photos and videos. Our name is Popsec Studio, Popsec.
We'll
studio.
put it up on the
and we have
here.
a website, so you guys can take a look at what we've been doing. So it's popsec.studio. That's the website.
Okay.
And basically what we do is commercials. We do documentaries of your projects. If you want to highlight something specific from your company or the project that you got, we can make it into a story. And cinema grade story, right? Technicality thing. That's basically it. And Jeff, go ahead.
Yeah. So one thing that I also like to say, when I'm pitching, me being André's partner in Popsec, usually when I'm pitching,
I love this name.
When I'm pitching André, I'd always say that it's not some kid with a gimbal,
Yeah.
Right, that you've got this cinema grade director behind a cinema grade camera.
Yeah.
That's how I say it. And before, that's what I used to say, right? But now what I say is that we've got an award-winning cinema director. Ooh, so what a lot of people don't know is that André won an award for a documentary that it was in a prison. It was in a prison. He did a prison documentary in Madeira. That's not got anything to do with me. This is Popsec, 100% Popsec. And, he won this award in Poland. It was an international film festival, and he won Portuguese, representing Portugal.
Amazing, André. You were keeping this from us. Come on, man. Good for you, Jeff, for saying this.
So when people say, well, he's an audiovisual house or whatever, why would you hire this guy? Is because he's an award-winning director, right?
I try my best.
Yeah.
No, you do good work, man.
Behind a cinema grade camera.
Amazing.
So
congrats.
It's making art. And then, with me, again, Hit the Road Madeira on YouTube. You're going to
love that name too. You guys got good names, man.
Yeah,
I'm jealous. I want good names. I like good names.
There's more coming.
Yeah.
I mean, I came up with the Ora Katams. I think it's a good name too.
It's nice. Yeah. When Devin told us about that,
3 great minds here, guys. 3 great minds. That's what it is.
Oh yeah.
But thank you so much. This was an amazing conversation. I really enjoyed it. It was kind of like we didn't really plan this. This was our friend Claudio kind of put us together here and all of that. But I'm really happy that this happened. Really happy to meet you guys and to have this conversation. It was really cool. Thank you so much, guys.
Thank you for having us.
All right.